What is up? What is up? Good to be back with y'all. It has been a while, and for once, actually, I'm here really, really early. Feels kind of good, but and I wish I could do it more, but it's just one of those rainy days, and I can't really do much work, so here I am. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go through a video clip with Candace. Um, she brought up the other, actually, her last episode, I guess, would have been Friday. She went into there towards the end, she went into the whole back and forth they had over the group message with Charlie Kirk telling him he was leaving the pro Israel cause, and the whole sending Dan Flood and I think Frank Turek a message saying they're going to kill me. All that, the timeline, how that works out. Yeah, I know a lot of people probably saw it, but I want to go over it again and go over it in details and really break it down because to me it says a lot more than it does at face value. And besides that, it was towards the end of the video. Yeah, a lot of people that are big Candace people watch, from beginning to end, but you never know. Something might have happened. Some of y'all might not have been able to catch the last part of the show. So we're going to watch it. I'll pause it here and there, and we'll talk about it. All right, here we go.
Are. Cutting back into the Charlie Kirk story, something amazing, and I cannot believe I missed this, okay? So I suddenly thought, let me just try to work through actually every minute and every hour of the last 48 hours leading up to September 10th for both Erica and Charlie. I started with Charlie and just trying to confirm what had been said, public statements that were made from people in his inner circle about his whereabouts, also Erica's whereabouts. And unbelievably, I did not catch this, probably because nobody actually watches or listens to Josh Hammer, but he came out once I released the text message. I said it was on September 8th that he texted and said, I'm abandoning the pro-Israel cause. Well, Josh Hammer came out and clarified that actually Charlie sent that text message on September 9th, the day before he died. Here's what Josh Hammer said in his own words. Take a listen.
Candace Owens seized on this totally out of context screenshot of Charlie Kirk being very upset that a Jewish donor was withholding.
And I'm sorry, just real quick. No, this is not a super important point, but if y'all would please imagine the gentleman there that is talking. Imagine him with like a black cape with a high collar. Just imagine that in your mind, and it's perfect. I need to do that one day. I've got to do that one day. The man looks just like the perfect Dracula. I swear. He's probably some type of vampire anyway.
Holding his $2 million donation. And she used this as an attempt to say, oh, Josh Hammer's lying, that Charlie Kirk remained pro-Israel until his final moments.
Yeah.
But she's also holding aside that 2 hours after this.
And it sounded like what he said was that Candace Owens was lying to say that he was a big supporter of Israel to the end. No, what he meant, he could have worded that better, but what he meant is that Candace Owens was lying to prove exactly the opposite, that he had reversed course and that he was leaving the pro-Israeli cause, but that he, according to him, actually had not and was still a staunch supporter. So anyway, he could have worded that better.
Screenshot, if you look at the timestamps, 2 hours after that, I and a few others were in a small Zoom chat, a small Zoom call with Charlie Kirk the night before he was killed that Charlie organized. Charlie organized this Zoom call for the express purpose of trying to make sure that he had all the best answers, the best messaging advice for how to speak about Jewish-Christian relations and the Israel question on college campuses.
Yeah, she's about to say it too, but I got to say it first. Can you imagine, for the life of you, Charlie Kirk, the man, the myth, the legend, probably one of the greatest debaters ever. Um, I mean, and was traveling, speaking, and debating 306 or 350 days out of a 365-day year. Um, that he would just, out of the blue, decide to ask Josh Hammer, of all people, for advice on talking points and how to answer these questions. That is absolutely ludicrous. Um, I don't know that many people that really pay much attention to Josh Hammer. Don't know that he's got just a huge following. Personally, don't know anybody that really likes him at all. But, and I haven't heard him speak a lot. But the last time I remember hearing him speak was very famously when he debated Dave Smith on stage at Turning Point USA with Charlie moderating it. And Dave absolutely obliterated him, like handed him his ass on a plate, embarrassed him. And he was really upset about that after the fact. And said that himself. So he was really upset about that, said that, Charlie and Dave Smith ambushed him, and basically Charlie let Dave Smith, cheat or whatever, either way, the typical wham wham. But all that being said, after seeing that display, does anybody really believe that Charlie Kirk thought, oh, I need some help coming up with some talking points? Who could I call? Oh yeah, Josh Hammer. He's the one. Bullshit.
Okay, first and foremost, I just want to say he's so full of crap. The idea that Charlie had just gotten back from Korea and was like, oh, please help me, Josh Hammer. You're a complete idiot. Please help me learn how to speak to college students. Josh Hammer and a rabbi who lives in Israel. Like, there was nobody else available. You know what time it must have been in Israel for him to organize this call? Why is he doing it with this rabbi? Was it Wojcicki, whatever his last name is? You're not going to just call like Dennis Prager, who you're apparently writing a Shabbat Shalom book with? It seems a little suspect. So you're actually clarifying for us something that's amazing. This is a stunning admission, okay? Because we know that when Charlie got off of this phone call, he texts that evening a text message to Dan Flood and Andrew Colbert saying, they're going to kill me. You should have left it at September 8th, because now the September 9th schedule is looking a little bit suspect. Let's
Yes, and I apologize. I said Frank Turk. I meant Andrew Kovac.
pull that up. I want you guys to see this. Let's go to September 9th first. Okay. So we know, which I've been able to confirm, that Charlie
And this is super, super important.
had an appearance in the Will Kane show. That's from his TPUSA office. Erica said that Charlie had the call with Josh Hammer around this time. This is, guys, just so you know, this is Arizona time, okay? That she was getting her nails done around this time. That's what she told me in person. Well, 3:54 p.m., she's referring to the chat. Charlie sends out that text message regarding leaving the pro-Israel cause. 6 o'clock p.m., again, this is according to Josh Hammer, because he says 2 hours later, which would have been 5:54 p.m., 6 o'clock p.m., Josh Hammer and this rabbi that literally is based in Israel have a Zoom call with Charlie. So he sends a message, the chat explodes, people are pulling out their money. He's saying, I have no choice to abandon the pro-Israel cause. Then this rabbi stays up and Josh Hammer stays up. They have a call with Charlie about talking points to do what he's done his entire career, because he doesn't know how to do this himself. He's turning to Josh Hammer, who he does not have a great relationship with, to help him massage out his points. Okay. He's getting messages from Bob Shillman. Everyone's pulling out their money. And then we know that after that, he's going to have dinner with Erica and the kids and a priest to pray over him, according to Erica. We are told that that prayer is related to a Jezebel article that published. By the way, I want to say, I actually don't believe that at all. I'm just going to put that out there. Like, just because of my relationship with Charlie and how much we texted about ridiculous articles and laughed at them, for me to think that suddenly on some feminist website, somebody wrote something saying they bought an Etsy spell that would send him so over the edge that he would call a priest doesn't pass the sniff test for me. But we just looking at the schedule. He's fighting with Jewish donors. They're taking out his money. Bob Shillman takes out his money. He then schedules this call with a rabbi and Josh Hammer. No, they were talking him off of the cliff. He's in.
And this is this is the same day. Okay. There's the group text where he tells everybody that, they're living up to all the stereotypes, and that he has no choice but to leave the pro Philadelphia cause, as Coach Collins says. But then later on that day, they're saying Charlie initiated this call, but that later on that day, that evening, they had a Zoom meeting between him, Josh Hammer, and this priest in Israel to go over talking points. I mean, okay.
In the chat, he's saying, I want Candace back. Confirmed. This happened on September 9th now. I want Candace back. I want to have her. He's also texting other people saying, I want to have Candace back. Confirmed on September 9th. Now you've got, a panic call. Come on, just talk. Let's talk through this. Don't bring Tucker and Candace. Let's talk through this. He's not looking to debate with a rabbi. Hey, help me debate. This is asinine. They want us to believe he needed a rabbi, a priest, and a pastor in the last 24 hours of his life, all helping him with talking points. Okay. So then get that schedule back up. He ends this call. He has to have dinner in this hour, which I've confirmed. He did have dinner with his family and the priest to pray over him, this priest, at dinner. And then he messages Dan Flood and Andrew and says they're going to kill me.
Now, let's pause it right there. So, and I think she said it multiple times other places, but I do have one video clip in particular here that I do want to play of Erica Kirk. If y'all will remember, Erica Kirk on Glenn Beck specifically, or at least in this clip, said that message never happened. Like that never happened. He never messaged Dan Flood, his head of security, and Andrew Kovac to say that they're going to kill me. And I just want to play this clip real quick.
Not messaging people the day before saying, I'm going to be murdered. But he...
Sorry, y'all. I just started that right in the middle. Okay, let's try this again.
But he was not messaging people the day before saying, I'm going to be murdered. They're coming after me. Someone's going to kill me. He didn't say that. And I have his cell phone. Didn't say that. And so...
She seemed pretty confident, didn't she? For one, how and why does she have his cell phone? Seems to me that would be one of the main pieces of evidence in a murder investigation. Just saying. But regardless, she says she's got it. But she said that message never happened. That message never got sent. I don't know if who remembers, but Candace, when she had her 4-hour sit down with Erica Kirk back, I don't know, a month and a half ago, whenever it was, she said she mentioned that and brought that up. And she still said that it didn't happen. And then she says, oh, well, I know it happened, that Andrew Kovac's the one that told me about it. And I would say she's surely got a screenshot to go along with, but either way, Andrew Kovac, one of the recipients, is the one that told her that. And when she confronted Erica with that fat little tidbit, then Erica, concede, oh yeah, well, he must have had it in Telegram or something that set to automatically clear, because I checked the iMessages and he didn't have that message in his iMessages. Now, there may be something I'm missing here, but let's just say he did have he did receive that message in Telegram and it was set to automatically clear. How did Erica know that? If they were set to clear, how could she confirm that he did get that message only in Telegram set to clear? That makes zero sense to me. Now, if she had said, yeah, maybe he did. Maybe he got it in Telegram, something that was set to automatically clear. but I see no proof of that. I have found no message like that. No, she confirmed that he did and that he got it in Telegram, which he had set to automatically clear the messages. So I don't know. Y'all tell me. Am I missing something? Maybe I am. I don't know. I don't know. Let's listen to that one more time. Look how confident.
But he was not messaging people the day before saying, I'm going to be murdered. They're coming after me. Someone's going to kill me. He didn't say that. And I have his cell phone. Didn't say that. And so.
Didn't say that. He didn't say that. Oh, Lord. All right, let's get back to Miss Candace. All right, here we go.
But he was obviously talking about the trannies. His day was being impacted by Israel. He was referring to Israel when he said that. He was referring to Israel.
And somebody, I don't remember who, maybe it was Frank Turk, maybe it was Erica, I don't know. Somebody did claim that, that if you got the full context, if you read, prior messages sent, in that same time frame, that he had mentioned the left or the furries or whatever. But we never got any proof of that. Never seen any screenshots of messages proving that point. And honestly, I don't believe that. I don't at all believe that. I'm with her 100% when he said they are trying to kill me. He meant, as Coach Colin would say, Philadelphia, our greatest ally, our bestest buddies over in the Middle East. Guarantee you, all the donors were pulling out. Not all the donors, but donors were starting to pull out. And yeah, to me, there's no doubt. Who stood to lose the most from him reversing course? It's simple.
And I have one more thing to tell you. And this is really going to knock your socks off. This is crazy. I've clocked Erica on another lie. A big lie. I went back to my source. Remember I told you when I broke the story and then she had to admit that he texted Dan Flood. First she said, oh, he never texted Dan Flood or whatever. I have his phone. And then I was like, Andrew Colvett told me and my source had access to Dan Flood's messages. Well, Dan Flood.
Oopsies.
Then she admitted he did receive a message, but she said she received that message on a chat that clears, like a Telegram chat. Well, guess what?
Again, how does she know that then? If it clears, how does she know? Makes no sense to me. I could be missing something. I have Telegram, but I don't really use it. I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something.
I went back to that source and they said it was an iMessage. She's lying.
Ooh. And you know what? Argue with her. Dispute that. That right there is a true look of confidence. She knows. And I would almost guarantee she got a screenshot or something proving it. But generally when she comes out and is that sure, that confident, she knows and she'll be right. She is right. I can promise you she's right. Erica Kirk lied. Had no problem smiling and staring right into the camera and lying. And that's just one of many times. Obviously, she does it a lot.
Let me say it again for you. She's now twice lied about the Dan Flood message. First,
there's something to it. She's lied about it twice. There's something to it. There's something about that message that that obviously she doesn't want to be known.
She said it didn't exist. Then she said maybe it did exist, but actually it was on Telegram, which Charlie had set to clear, and that's why she never saw it. That's a lie. It was sent an iMessage between him and Dan Flood, according to my source, who I trust a lot more than I trust Erica because I've clocked her on too many big lies. So, not okay. I'll take you back to the 8th. Let's go to the 8th, September 8th, and let me tell you what's problematic. I had to put together what people said happened on this day. And here's what I've been able to confirm thus far. I have from 10 o'clock a.m. to 11 o'clock a.m., Charlie appears from his home studio. Again, this is all reflecting Arizona local time. On the Charlie Kirk show, that's a full hour on the Salem network. Then Erica told me that she woke up Charlie from his nap. Makes sense because he had just gotten back late the night before from Korea. Okay. Makes sense that he would be napping. She says she woke him up from a nap for his Fox News hit. Again, that's just according to Erica, but the timing of him, the idea of him sleeping at this time makes sense to me,
So you got to take that with a grain of salt, sadly.
is what I'm saying. Then we know Charlie Kirk appears from his home studio on the Ingram Angle, and the show, he shoots it from his house. So he's not going to the office because he's exhausted and jet lag. This is also the day that the article appears in Jezebel regarding that witch's curse. At 5:24 p.m., Erica's alibi to me was that she was just arriving back home, presumably with groceries, but just arriving back home. At 6:06 p.m., she texts Charlie and says dinner is ready. And per Frank, and I want you to listen to what Frank Turek says here. He says that he went on a walk with Charlie this day at 8 o'clock p.m. He says that earlier in the day, he had been with Charlie, but they then went on this long walk again because he needed advice about how to debate. I don't know what happened. Charlie suddenly was a day old at debates, and he needed to consult. This sounds like the beginning of a joke, a pastor, a priest, and a rabbi. Like it literally sounds like the beginning of a joke. A pastor, a priest, and a rabbi walked into a bar. Like, this is what they're all saying, though. Listen to what Frank Turek says on Megyn Kelly's show.
You know, the last walk we went on, Megan, was Monday night. So the terrible day was Wednesday. And so we spent some time Monday, and then we both went to dinner. He wanted to have dinner with the family, he's a family man. So he said, hey, can you come back at about 8? We'll go on a walk. I said, yeah, okay. So I came back down at 8, and I texted him. I said, okay, I'm about here. He said, coming out. And then
I'm sorry. This is just something dumb. What kind of glasses are those that he wears? To me, they look like shooting glasses. Are those shooting glasses? Am I seeing shit? I don't know. I think that every single time I see his face on something, I swear to God, those are shooting glasses. I don't know. Anyway, just an aside. Probably nothing important. Just drives me crazy.
a minute later, he said, shortly, Gigi just got up. So he was obviously taking care of the baby, taking care of his daughter, because that's the
Why, if Erica was at home? Why was he taking care of her if Erica was at home?
kind of person he was. And then we went on this long walk, and there were two major issues that kept coming up that he wanted to be better at.
And he goes to Frank Turek.
Then goes on to say that Charlie was asking for him advice for how to speak to the college kids about questions about Christ. So again, he's got so many spiritual advisors to help him contend with this. You would think they might have different answers because you got the rabbi doesn't believe in Christ, but he needs to consult him about debate questions. And then he's got Frank Turek, who does believe in Christ. We got the priest. Who, anyways, it's all very confusing. But the interesting part that from that statement is that he says that Charlie had to deal with the kids. Now, I'm not trying to read too much into it, but if he's late coming out for this walk because he has to deal, Gigi got up and he's got to deal because he's a great dad. Wasn't Erica home? Couldn't Erica have gotten him back down if you had an appointment to make? Perhaps, maybe she was like, no, it's your turn. You deal with it. But the problem I'm having is I have now confirmed with people that live where they live, because they live in a building, that they all saw Charlie. They also saw Charlie on a walk. I have one person who lives there. She ran into Charlie, and he certainly was on a walk, not with Frank Turek, with a tall person who she does not recognize. Charlie stops. They spoke about her dog, and then he told her, like, oh, I'm starting my tour tomorrow. They had a brief chat. Got that on record statement. Now, it's possible Charlie was at first walking with Frank, and Frank then left. So I'm not dismissing that as in Frank's lying, but I am just noting that the person who confirmed they saw Charlie, they confirmed that they saw Charlie and where they saw Charlie and Erica eating on the 9th. Seeing Charlie in an elevator, everything about Charlie is adding up. I cannot get a single person to confirm that they saw Erica, who's apparently out and about. I then thought, wouldn't it make sense? She screams in the middle of a parking lot. She screams in the middle of a doctor's office. Everybody kind of knows where they were when Charlie got shot. Okay. If this doctor's office had people in it, there's going to be someone who said, hey, I heard a giant scream at my doctor's office, even if they didn't see her. And then I looked at my phone, and 15 minutes later, I learned that Charlie got shot. No. She also says that she collapsed in the parking lot. No one thus far has seen that. Nobody in her building has and they all know each other. It's a building. They know Mikey McCoy. People have said, I've seen Mikey McCoy on this date, blah, blah, blah. No one can confirm that they saw Erica on this date where she was behaving super shady and just giving me a very straightforward alibi and pretending like they didn't understand the instructions of this alibi for Fort Huachuca. Something else was going on. I don't buy any of these stories. I don't buy Charlie suddenly needed advice from a pastor, a priest, and a rabbi. It sounds ridiculous. Okay.
I mean, he needs advice from a couple boomers to help him speak better to the, college kids, Gen Z or whatever. I mean, give me a break.
I think something was happening. I think Charlie was fearful of his life. I don't think it was about a Jezebel curse. I think everything that was going on in his day reveals that Charlie was stressed out about pressure that was being put on him regarding Israel. And he was instructing to his team that he was done with them and he was happy to lose money. So,
and think about the timeline here. Think about the timeline. Remember back to Mitch Snow. If you'll remember, Mitch Snow claims he saw Erica at the Candlewood Inn and Suites on Fort Huachuca on the evening of September the 8th. And then the next day, September the 9th, he said that he saw Brian Harpo. Brian Harpo, he said another gentleman he thought was maybe Cabot Phillips, and who was the other one? Anyway, so could it be that, she says she was home fixing him dinner, woke him up from his nap and all this stuff, give this whole story about what went on the night of September the 8th. But actually, the reason why Charlie couldn't come out immediately for his walk was because he, in fact, was there alone with his kids, taking care of them, while, I'm assuming, unbeknownst to him, his wife is at a military base, way over yonder, coordinating and or planning his unaliving, in the next day or two. To me, from what I've seen and what I know just from all of this digging over the past few months, to me, that seems very likely. I would say that, to me, that seems probable at this point. For some reason, they cannot prove that she was not there at that base on that night, on September the 8th. And they just keep lying about everything. Nothing that they have presented in this whole timeline on that last couple days before September the 10th. Nothing can be confirmed. Nothing is legit.
would not track that then, after dealing with this, having a call with the rabbi who should be asleep in Israel, but is staying up to give you advice on a debate, like this couldn't have been a frickin' email, it would follow that he then sent to Andrew Colvett and Dan Flood that they, meaning the Jews, were going to kill him. That's what I believe. That's what I believe happened on that day. And as far as why Erica is lying and covering for Dan Flood, we're gonna need to get to the bottom of that. These are not little lies. These are huge lies. These are big lies. She's covering up for bad people and doesn't make any sense.
And she's being very, very gracious there. She's being extremely gracious because she knows she's the one that did the original interview. She knows what's alleged. She knows where she was alleged to be on this night that she's discussing right now, when Erica Kirk claims to have been at home and to have fixed him dinner and woke him up from a nap. She realizes what it means if she wasn't there. So she's being extremely gracious, saying that she is covering for some terrible people.
Welcoming bad people into the foray of Turning Point USA for money. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. And I don't give a shit about who wants to cut me on Instagram and say, oh my God, the heart, I can't believe it. Oh my God, how could you? How could you? How could you? How could any of you continue to stand by this sort of stuff? And this the society that we live in, where good men are being cut down, killed, children are being harmed, people are lying about who Charlie was, what he was going through in the final days, and look up at the people who still have a soul and question their motives. If you are, giving into money and the rest of you guys are joining team Baal worship, that's cool. The rest of us, we'd rather not. Take a brief break and we'll get to some of your comments. All right, you guys.
Okay. We'll do a short recap because there's a few points there that I do want to go back over. I want to add a little bit of context, maybe, I guess you could say, to some of these points. Let's see. I want to go back to the beginning of this chapter, this section that we played. Let's see.
To the chat, Charlie sends out that text message regarding leaving the pro-Israel cause. 6:00 p.m. Again, 3:54 p.m. She's referring to because now the September 9th schedule is looking a little bit suspect. Let's pull that up. I want you guys to see this. Let's go to September 9th first. Okay. So we know, which I've been able to confirm, that Charlie had an appearance in the Will Kane show. That's from his TPUSA office. Erica said that Charlie had the call with Josh Hammer around this time. This is, guys, just so you know, this is Arizona time, okay? That she was getting her nails done around this time. That's what she told me in person. Well, 3:54 p.m., she's referring to the chat. Charlie sends out that text message regarding leaving the pro-Israel cause. 6:00 p.m., again, this is according to Josh Hammer, because he says 2 hours later, which would have been 5:54 p.m., 6:00 p.m., Josh Hammer and this rabbi that literally is based in Israel have a Zoom call with Charlie. So he sends a message, the chat explodes, people are pulling out their money. He's saying, I have no choice to abandon the pro-Israel cause. Then this rabbi stays up and Josh Hammer stays up. They have a call with Charlie about talking points to do what he's done his entire career, because he doesn't know how to do this himself. He's turning to Josh Hammer, who
absolutely ridiculous. Josh Hammer, I mean, I'm sorry, but he's just an absolutely insufferable little shit. And would look perfectly natural in a Count Dracula costume. All right, so a couple points that I want to really, really hammer on. This is September the 9th. This is the day before. This is the day before he is tragically unalived. On September the 10th, he goes to UVU to do his, prove me wrong thing. This has been confirmed over and over and over again. This is common knowledge. September the 10th at UVU was the first stop on this tour that they are doing. This is the first event of this tour that they're going on. Now, the day before, he has some donor trouble, obviously from things that are going on prior. So on September the 9th, the day before that, he sends out a message mid-afternoon and says, I'm sorry, but I'm actually, it's 4 o'clock, late afternoon, whatever. He sends out the text that says about them living up to all the stereotypes, how bad they're treating him, and that they leave me no choice but to abandon the pro-Philadelphia cause. That was at 4:00 p.m. the day before the first stop on this tour he's going on. All right. So then later on at 6 o'clock, he jumps on a call. And by the way, one of the people in that text chain that he said that he was leaving the pro Our Greatest Ally cause was Josh Hammer. And if you'll remember, he said that he was going to bring Candace back, or was thinking of bringing Candace back. And somebody says, if I remember correctly, that was Josh Hammer that said that. But either way, so then all of a sudden he is on a call later with Josh Hammer and this big rabbi at 6 o'clock this evening. So if you think about this, he says, I'm done. And of course, this had been building. He says, I'm done the afternoon of the 9th. All of a sudden, he's on a call with some rabbi in the Middle East and Josh Hammer. I mean, she's right. There's no other way to take this. Well, they were talking him off the cliff, like she said. But I'll take it one step further than that. The next day, he's going to his first event of a big, long tour with lots of stops. This was a last minute, last chance conversation. He said what he said earlier that day. And then those two individuals got on a call with him to give him one more chance. And warn him, I can guarantee you. You need to reverse course. You need to stay with the status quo. You need to keep doing what we've been doing. Maybe do it better. Because if not, there's going to be consequences. I mean, I can just see it, hear it. And what are those consequences? Well, we now know, but he gets off the call. He gets off the call at 6 p.m. with Josh Hammer and this rabbi. And then one of the next things in this timeline is him sending a text to his head of security and saying that they are going to kill me. Most of the time, people don't just send messages like that, just out of the blue, randomly. Say, they're going to kill me. There had to be some reason for him to do that. There had to be something. There had to be some reason for him to do that. And I'm sorry, but I can't see it any other way than that phone call that he had just an hour earlier. He said what he said. He got on this call. They warned him. He got off of the call. He texted his head of security and said, they're going to kill me. That is just crazy. But it makes perfect sense. And I would love for somebody to prove without a shadow of a doubt that that is not how this went. But I don't see how you can take it any other way. There was something that happened that made him send that text to his head of security. It wasn't just a gut feeling. It wasn't just, he just thought of it because he was fixing to go on tour to his first stop the next day. No. He was warned the day before his first stop that he better stick to the plan or else. And Charlie was pretty smart. He knew who he's dealing with. Obviously, he knew who he was dealing with. You could tell that by comments and things that he had said, more recently, closer to the end, in the months preceding that day, September the 10th. He knew who he was dealing with. And even though they may not have specifically said what that or else was, he knew. Obviously, he knew. He told his head of security. Now, did his head of security do anything about it? Obviously not. I don't know. It's crazy. Think about that. Knowing it was coming. But like I said, there's no other way to look at this. If you were some powerful people with a lot of money that you've been funding him with, and he was going to he was going against you, or decided to go against you and leave your cause, would you not want to catch him before he started this tour? Before he got started on the wrong foot? Yeah. So they had an emergency call, told him what time it was. He knew what time it was, told his security guard. And guess what? The next day, they did what they said they were going to do. It's awful. I want to play something else for you. I got just another short clip here. And this is more about, this is less about what is being said and more about, just watch the face. This is Erica. This is Erica, another clip from when she was on with Glenn Beck. It's in slow motion. I want you to pay attention. Pay attention to her eyes and the look on her face when she says what she says. When she talks about how special her family, how much her family means to her. I don't remember exactly word for word, but we'll find out here in just a second. So,
God bless you.
Sick.
God bless you.
does it not look like she sees a ghost right now? Just saying.
It is.
My family means everything to me.
Did you see that look? Did you see that glance?
God bless you.
Sick.
God bless you. It is.
My family means everything to me.
Did something on her desk catch her attention? Or was she just glancing down and off to the side? Obviously, I'm no professional when it comes to that type of thing, but I've heard plenty of people, law enforcement, and so on, say that a lot of times that indicates a person lying. Maybe not. I don't know. I just thought it was odd. Like she looked right in that camera and said, "No, he did not get those messages." Whenever she says how much her family means to her, she's all glancing off to the side and looking down. I don't know. I thought that was odd. Um, I really thought that was odd. I'm going to show you a couple pictures here too. And these are screenshots from this same clip. That's just a still from that. Like to me, that picture there, I don't know, that just doesn't go with what she was saying. My family means everything to me. Look at those eyes. Look at that look. Cold. I don't know. I just thought that was interesting. She's a strange one for sure. Let They need to hide her away like they did Biden, stick her in a basement somewhere, because every time she opens her mouth, she makes herself and everybody involved with TPUSA at all, makes them just look terrible, terrible, terrible. Anyway, all right, I guess we'll leave it there. I wanted to bring that out. I wanted to go through that. Like I said, I know a lot of people probably saw that, but I didn't know how many people actually connected all those dots, and I wanted to I wanted to hammer that in and make sure that y'all folks at least got to hear it from my point of view, and yeah, hopefully agree with me. Let me know. You can comment and let me know if you disagree. Please like the video, please share the video, and please subscribe to the channel. Extremely small channel, trying to grow. To grow, we got to get these videos pushed out there. And with this channel being so small, YouTube's just not going to push it out there like it does some of the bigger channels. So the only way for it to get out there is for people to be liking and subscribing to the channel. The more that happens, the more YouTube will push it out there, and the bigger we'll get. So I'm not sure when I'll be live again. I would like to go live again tomorrow. I'm not sure what day I'm going to be able to do it, but I'm probably going to touch on the Epstein stuff. A lot of people are covering it. A lot of people that you would think would be covering it are not covering it. But I do want to touch on that at least at some point. But I'm still going over stuff and looking and trying to put my thoughts together on it. So yeah, it'd be some of that incoming. But not sure exactly when, just sometime in the near future. So anyway, I'm going to get off here. I appreciate everybody watching. Like, share, and subscribe, please, please, please. And I will see y'all next time in a day or two. Thanks.